What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. It's your girl, Michelle Nicole, with the Remedy Podcast. Remember, we did change the name, so it's no longer Drinks After Work with Shelly Nicole. It is the Remedy Podcast with Shelly Nicole. So I hope everybody had a great day. Hope everybody had an amazing Monday. It's been a lot. A lot has been going on. A lot has been happening. I swear every time I turn on the news, it's like one thing after the other with this president of ours, with people passing away and unfortunately in unforeseen circumstances of people. My hearts go out to the people that passed in the DC plane, the American Airlines plane that was in DC, the helicopter chopper, as well as the medical team and the little girl that was 6 years old that also passed away in that plane crash in Pennsylvania. Apparently there is another one. Was it Pennsylvania or Philadelphia? I think it was Philly. In that area, sorry. But my hearts go out to the family. My hearts go out to everybody who may not have known them, or anybody that was on that plane or the chopper or the other plane that happened in Philly. But it a lot has been going on, and I don't even say this to laugh. I say this because everything, and I was literally telling my manager this yesterday, where there was actually a pastor speaking on things like this happening last year, July, saying that the time is coming where there will be planes, and I say this with all due respect, there will be planes coming out of the sky that Mother Nature will not be what it normally is, hence the terrible fires that have happened in LA. My hearts go out to them as well. And the snowstorms in the south, and then it being brick ass cold up here in the Northeast, and just so many things that are happening around the world. And I feel like people are just so oblivious, and you could just tell from, like, even when you look on Instagram or you go on TikTok. Well, I can't go on TikTok no more because I deleted the app. Yes, I did. I got a little, I rushed, okay? Don't come for me. I rushed. But nonetheless, I did notice, like, the pastor was basically saying how things like this would happen in the near future. And the fact that a lot of what the Bible has and teaches is coming to fruition is very scary to me. And I don't know if it's scary to any of you guys who are, who listen or read the Bible, who are spiritual. But it is very frightening. And it was even making me more nervous because my parents were down in South Carolina last week, and they were trying to come back up. And they were not able to. The first flight that they had got on, I think it was an issue with the door that my mother had said. The door wouldn't close. They finally got the maintenance crew to come fix that. And then they got in the air. The windshield wipers weren't working, so they turned back around, brought them back down, took that plane out of commission, waited for another plane to come. The day before the day before all of that happened, the plane, the day that they were supposed to leave, their actual departure date, they canceled all the flights because of what had happened in DC. So they canceled all of those flights, and it was just like one thing after the other. And my mom was like, everyone was pretty calm. I said, yeah, well, given what has happened, I hope people are very calm when it comes to flying, because we don't know why it happened, and I don't think we'll know for a while, because obviously they have to do a whole investigation. But nonetheless, it's tragic either way. And again, my heart goes out to the entire family, all the families of who were lost in these plane accidents, and just praying, y'all. Just praying and giving it to God at this point. So today's episode is about, well, the title is Go Where You're Appreciated. Now, I don't necessarily mean just relationships. I mean just with anything. When it comes to friendships, when it comes to family, when it comes to work, when it comes to anything really in your life that has to deal with you feeling like you're loved, or like what you do matters, or if your actions are actually something that people take into consideration, and I want to say even thank you for, or just show their appreciation for you in any type of way. But I guess we can go kind of like down the list. But so I basically just made like a few points. I really didn't make like a long thing, nothing drawn out. But it basically certain things that I thought about when it came to myself and when it came to feeling or not feeling appreciated in all aspects of my life. When it comes to working, I feel like, and I was having this conversation with a guy that I know. He was always saying like how he just constantly works and works and works and works and works, and that he doesn't really have much memories of doing anything else. So I said, so all you want to do is just have memories of clocking in. You don't want to have memories of hanging out with friends or building relationships with people or anything of the sort. And he was like, well, it's not that I don't want to. It's just that I have this idea in my mind. I have this plan, this dream, and I want to get there. And I said, well, you can get there. You will get there. But at the same time, do you want to miss out on the people who are your friends, the people who are your family, who you really care about? Or do you rather just say, you know what, I'll just clock in and keep clocking in and keep clocking in, and then just make my money the way I make my money, and then once I get to where I need to get to, once I get enough money, or I get or accomplish the thing that I want, then I can sit back and I can make memories. Part of me understands it, because I've heard even millionaires say that, like, oh, I'll sleep when I'm dead, or I'll do this or I'll do that. But when you don't really feel like what you're putting out is being reciprocated back in, because ultimately what he said was that he feels like he clocks in so much, he makes all these memories, all this money, but he feels like him, and I guess like his manager or his boss or whatever, that he doesn't really see the work and the effort that he puts into the company. That he's I guess made like a lot of sales, or he's made a lot of leads, or whatever the case is. I don't remember exactly how he worded it, but nonetheless, he's been putting in the work and the time and the years. And when he's asked for a raise, he got a little bit, like he got a tiny one, but it wasn't what he was due given what he's been given to the company. So I said to him, and I had to even use this for my own self, I'm not saying don't go to work at all. I'm not saying fuck work and, a wish, a hope, and a prayer, and like a freaking wishbone will get your bills paid. No, you do have to clock in. You do have to have some type of income coming in to get and have the things that you want, whether it's just, paying bills, or just traveling, getting your hair, your nails, the regular life, simple shit. You have to clock in. You have to make some money some way, somehow. But at the end of the day, if all your memories are going to be about you just clocking in, and especially in a company or a job where they do not give a flying fudge, I'm trying not to curse, about you, then I feel like you owe yourself that time away to make the memories with the friends, the family members, your partner, as much as possible. Because it obviously, you've seen what has happened in Philly, you've seen what has happened in DC. We are not promised tomorrow, we are not promised an hour, we are not promised the next 10 minutes. You have to literally make the memories with the people who love you and appreciate you top tier, because that is what people are going to remember you for, or remember about you when you're dead and gone. And again, everything that has been happening the last month, like not even the last 2 months, just the last month, And we're just in the beginning of this year. I think we need a redo, honestly. But after everything that has happened, and even in your personal life, if things have happened that you've noticed, that you've seen, and you're just like literally standing here shaking your head and scratching your head like, why is this happening? What's going on here? Like, am I missing something? Like, am I not, like, what am I not gathering up here, right? It should show you and should tell you that you need to, the job will always be there. And I simply just said that to him. The job will always be there. Once you leave or you decide to quit, retire, God forbid, you pass away, they're going to replace you. And they'll replace you like this. Make the memories, use that PCO, and go and enjoy yourself. Because the CEO enjoys himself. The co-CEO enjoys himself. The manager enjoys him or herself. Anybody up or superior than you goes out and enjoys themselves. So should you. And again, I'm not saying come to work 2-3 times out of the month. That's a little bit absurd. You're asking for your ass to get fired. But make sure you make those memories, because the job will always be there. The job ain't going nowhere. But your memories and with people, you can't get that back. So outside of work, right? Some things that I've kind of like had to tell myself, but also realized as I gotten older and as I grow and mature, right? You're not everyone's cup of tea. And that's okay. Cup of tea, cup of coffee, cup of latte, cup of espresso, cup of douce, cup of Henny, cup of red wine. Don't matter. You're not everybody's, okay? Not everybody is going to like you. Not everybody is going to care about you. Not everybody is going to appreciate what it is you bring into their life. That's okay. That is fine. You just have to be able to see it and be able to differentiate where you're wanted, where you're loved, where you are accepted, and where you're possibly hated on, where you're going to be shitted on, who really doesn't have your best interests at heart, who's really just here for the moment, who's really just here to access some part of you, trying to take. You know, like when you have someone in your life that's just like a taker. Like they just like to snatch your like soul. It sounds so weird me saying that, but they like to just take everything from you, but don't want to give or pour anything back into you. Sweetheart, you gotta go. Absolutely not. Everyone is not going to like you for who you are and what you bring to the table, and that means flaws and all. That does not necessarily mean, and it shouldn't mean, that somebody wants you to be perfect. Any friend, family, or partner that wants you to be perfect in their image and in their eyes, it's not going to work. I'm telling you, it's not going to work. You have to be okay with understanding that your flaws are your flaws. You acknowledge them, and then you work towards fixing them. And working towards fixing it doesn't mean that it's going to happen in 24 hours. Doesn't mean it's going to happen in a week. It doesn't mean it's going to happen in a month. Shit, it may not even happen in 6 months or a year. But it's as long as you acknowledge it and then you take the steps to change it, that's what's important. But you have to realize everyone in your life, and as you get older, your circle will get smaller, your circles will change, your partner will change. You will not like your partner all the time, which is obvious. But if there's things about them that really don't sit well with you, and even after you've spoken to them about it, like, hey, this thing that you do, I'm really not feeling it, and I need you to fix it. And you continue to see them either come at you, get real defensive, and real like, well, what's the issue with me, and why you always got to say there's something. If they start acting like that, then that's how you also know, like, okay, this person isn't for me, and I gotta go, because there's no reason why you as my partner, you as my friend, you as my family member, I'm telling you that there's something that is bothering me, and if you're deliberately choosing not to fix it, and yet you're combative to it, that means you really don't care about how I really feel. And that means that you have no aspiration or no thought of changing it, because you see that it's bothering me. So I definitely feel like that's the first thing that everybody needs to do. Where you are wanted, stay. But if you're not everybody's cup of tea, it's okay. And it doesn't necessarily have to be tea. Like I said, no matter what you drink, if you're not everybody's, you're fine. You're good. The other thing I think I kind of knew, but I was like very naive to at the same time. A lot of people don't like you. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with your headphones. There's nothing wrong with the podcast. I paused because I want people to understand, just like how I had to understand this. A lot of people, they don't like you. And it can literally be for no reason. It can literally just be you existing, which sounds so sick and sounds so like the fuck. But like just your presence, your aura alone, which is actually the third one that I was actually going to say, your aura can be intimidating, can make someone not like you. I have heard people even tell me growing up, like before they even knew me, I didn't like you. And I'm like, why? And it was really because, like, simply, just like some simple shit, nothing even crazy. So the next thing that I feel like I also had to understand and come to the realization with, that no invite is an invite. No invite is an invite. It's an invitation for you to stay your ass in the house and not go anywhere. At least not with them. I used to get like real pissy whenever I didn't get an invite to something. And sometimes, like, because with my work schedule, my days off change all the time. So it's like when you're used to having friends or like even family members that have regular normal people days off. It's like, and when I say normal, I mean like Saturday, Sunday. At least that was the norm only a few years ago. I don't know if that's still the norm, but I could never like go to certain things because it would be late at night and I wake up hella early in the morning. So sometimes I would get mad, like, well, why didn't I get invited? Or even if it wasn't just because of my work schedule, like even if it was something that I saw like my cousins had posted, or if they were like going somewhere and I'm just like, well, why didn't you guys ask me? I had to sometimes realize too that, and this may not necessarily always be my situation, it could be your situation, but there have been times where I know some people won't invite you somewhere or won't invite me somewhere because it's like they don't want you to be the center of attention. And it's like, bro, I'm the chilled one. I'm the one that's like in the back, just, parlaying, not really doing much of anything and just, enjoying the time. But for whatever reason, again, your aura can be intimidating to people. That will make people not want to necessarily have you around, or just who you are as a person may not necessarily resonate with the rest of the group or that person or whatever the case may be. So understand that no invitation to an outing or to a dinner or to a vacation or to wherever is an invitation for you to stay your ass in the house and then possibly reevaluate the said relationship that you have with the person. Even if it's somebody that you're dating, if you're noticing that like this person goes out and on the weekends or like even on your days off, you notice that they're going out, even if it's not your, even if you don't have weekends off, they go out, they're enjoying themselves, they're at a bar, whatever, but they never ask you to go with them. And it's always just like, which is good. It could always just be you two, like not always, but you know what I mean? Like you can have your moments of just having couples night or date night, but also being outside with his friends or her friends and you joining around. And if they're bringing their partner, why not have your partner around as well? If you notice that they just don't invite you out to group settings where their friends are inviting their partners, or you try to invite them out with your friends and they're bringing theirs and they just choose not to go, understand that's also a sign that they don't really like you like that, or they really just don't want you to be in said situation, which is fucking weird, because if I'm the person who you're dating and if I'm the person who you actually like, why not have me around your friends or your family or even your coworkers? Like, I don't understand that logic, but whatever. Understand, like, again, not having an invitation is okay, and you're not always going to be invited everywhere, because not everybody likes you, not everybody wants your aura around, and to some people, which is my next thing, your intimidation can cause them to not want to have you around, because you look so like confident in who you are and in what you bring to the table, and it can be like the slightest thing. Like, you cannot even try. Like, I've heard somebody even say that to me, where it's like, oh, you look so intimidating, and I don't even know, like, if like, if I can approach you. And it wasn't even a guy saying it, a girl said this, and I'm like, I know that I have resting bitch face. I'm working on it. And I know that sometimes it looks like I'm angry, but I guarantee you 9 out of 10 times I'm not angry. Like, there's probably that one time where I might just be like a little annoyed by something, but you can always still approach me and say hi, and I'm just like, hey, how are you? Like, how's it going? A little smirk maybe here and there, but I tell you not, I've heard the whole intimidating thing since I was a teenager, and I get it, but at the same time, it's just like, I don't always walk around with that face of like like disgust. I don't think so. My family and my friends would tell you otherwise, but I don't think so. I could be in denial. Maybe I am. So the other thing, where you're appreciated, right, is if he or she, and this is more like on relationships and dating, if he or she doesn't want you, move on. And I know it's easier said than done. I get it. Trust me, I've been there. I've lived it. I am currently like healing from it, because I had to walk away from something that was just like mixed signals. Why? But I left it alone because I can't be bothered. But again, if you're not appreciated for what you give and what you put out into a relationship or into just dating this person, you have to remove yourself. And especially if you see that they're taking advantage of it, or they're not reciprocating the same energy, you gotta go. Because listen, time, and I keep saying this, time is valuable, and time should not be wasted on people who don't see you for who you are. And if this person, he, she, I don't care who it is you're dating, doesn't see the importance that you bring to their life, then they're not for you. If they can't see that, you know what, this is my husband, or this is my wife, or this is somebody that I want to see, because not everybody wants to get married, this is somebody who I can see me being with for long term, what are we doing? At this big old age, what are we doing? Like, be for real. Be for real. Like, if you're not sure, then say that you're not sure. But don't lead people on. Don't make it seem like, this is something that you really want, when in all actuality, you're in your own head thinking things through. Speak, communicate, say what's on your mind. I guarantee you a lot of issues would not happen if people would just be real about where they see themselves at this exact moment. The moment they do that, people won't have a problem. Relationships would either last, or you can go off and part ways way cordially. You can still be friends. You can still cheer them on. You don't have to have this bitterness, this hate, this resentment. For people would not be a thing if people would just be honest about what it is they want. So if they don't choose you, choose you. That's as simple as I can get it. The other thing is, don't think too hard about the why. I feel like I've done this, trying to put pieces of the puzzles together, trying to figure out, well, then why did this happen? But if you said this, then why did he do that? But if he's feeling like this, then why? Sometimes you just have to know that it just didn't happen. It didn't work out, and go about your business. Just like in friendships. Well, why didn't they see me like this? Or why didn't they invite me here? Or why didn't they? Sometimes you just have to say, you know what? I'm not going to kill myself trying to figure out the answers that I will never probably get. And just part ways amicably and just go about your business. Because finding that out is going to eat at your peace, is going to eat at your sanity, and you're going to have like nightmares about it. I know, like, when I even had to walk away, like I said, from my current, well, not current, but my past situation, I kept trying to find the why in what had happened, the why in how could this be, and the why in why would he like even do this. But I had to realize that I also, I'm bringing the spiritual, I also said, and I've said this to even my friends, and I think I probably definitely mentioned it on one of these episodes where I said, one of the dangerous prayers that you can ever pray to God, or you can ever say, is to remove people from your life who are not supposed to be here. And the way God comes in like a stiff wind and just sweeps people out that they're not supposed to be there, that is all you need to know. That God heard conversations about you, about so-called friends or people who you call your family that you didn't hear. And God removed them because he heard it. He was there. He sent his angels. He had people. He had that little, when people say, I want to be a fly on the wall in that conversation or in that room. God had that fly in that room and heard every little thing that you didn't hear. And that is why he removed them. That is the why. Because you wasn't supposed to be there. Well, why did they? Because that wasn't for you. As long as you keep it, and I've also had to tell myself this, as long as you keep it real simple, why did this person cheat on me? Why did this person lie to me? Why did this person not invite me? Why did this person stop speaking to me? Keep it real simple. Because you're not their cup of tea. See? You're not who they see as a friend. You're not the person that they want to spend the rest of their life with. There's nothing wrong with you, but you are not the person that this person that we're talking about wants to continue having or building a relationship, friendship, whatever ship with you. And just be okay with that. The last thing is, if they don't sit right, or if their spirit or their energy does not sit right with you, they're not right for you. I swear, women mostly, because, and I don't care what you men say, because a lot of men say that woman intuition thing, that ain't a true thing. Well, you ain't got it, so how would you know? Okay? But most of us women, we ignore our intuition. We ignore that gut feeling. And gentlemen, y'all have that gut feeling. It's not technically intuition, but it's a gut feeling. You know when something is off. You know when you're not at ease about something. You know that if you've ever like stepped into a room, or like you've gone to like maybe a party, or you've gone to, I don't know, even the store, right? And something, even as you're walking to it, or you're driving up to it, or you're waiting online to get in at like a club or something, you have this feeling that I shouldn't be here. There's something that's not right, and I don't think I should be here. That is your intuition. That is your gut telling you there is something off and you need to go. It's the same thing when it comes to people. I used to think that like, oh, it's butterflies. No, bitch, it ain't butterflies. It's anxiety. And your body is telling you to get out. Your body is telling you to remove yourself. And we often don't want to believe it. We don't want to hear our gut. We don't want to hear our intuition, for the ladies. because we think we know all the answers, and we think that, oh, we're just overthinking, or we're just assuming, or, oh, it's our trauma, it's our past. Some of it, and I feel like a little part of it, I'm not a specialist, I'm not a professional. I just go based off of my own experiences and what I've heard other friends have told me and how we've all kind of navigated through it. A little bit can be from trauma and from our past. I mean, we all have it, so shit, obviously. But I do feel like those little signs, those little messages that we get, especially in our gut, and when it's telling us, you gotta get out, you gotta skate. This person, this girl, this guy is not for you. When you're around them, you don't feel at ease. You don't feel so comfortable. You feel like there's something missing and I don't know what it is and I can't put my finger on it. And then even after you ask them or you have a conversation with them and you have them explain it to you, you still don't get it. Like, you still have that feeling. Or even if it subsides at that moment, the next time you see them, the feeling comes again. I had to realize that with my last dating experience and then my last relationship also. And like, this is the good thing about being single, that probably one of the only, not one of the only, but that's probably one of the good things about being single, and the one things that I do like about having me time in this area of this time of my life, this season of my life, because I get to put pieces of the puzzle together where I thought that, oh, this was butterflies, or I just can't wait to see him, or, oh, he's, because me and my ex used to live together, oh, he's coming home, and no, it was my intuition telling me something is off. Something is off, and I'm trying to warn you to get out and to remove yourself before it gets worse. And a lot of the times when shit hits the fan, we always like to say, and not just women, men too, like, how can this even happen? Start spazzing, start acting the fool. But it's like, if you really were to sit back and think about it, if you would have listened 4 months ago, 3 months ago, shit, even a week ago, when you had that feeling, what had just happened wouldn't have happened, because you would have already gotten yourself out of the situation. When I had to walk away from my ex, but then also walking away from the guy who I was previously dating, that piece that I automatically had, let me not say automatically, it took me, I want to say like 2 to 3 business days to get that peace and that calmness over me, to where I just felt calm. I had no anxiety. My nervous system was like just leveled. And this whole time that I was with him, and when I broke up with him, the other guy, this whole time, it was like a roller coaster. Up, down, left, right, calm, not calm. I was all over the place. But ever since I left, and even then giving my time and my space and my moment to just reflect and to heal myself with therapy, with just talking to friends, or just even, and sometimes I even use this, like the podcast, as a way of therapy too, because it allows me to get it out. It allows me to speak on it. And knowing that, because I've even had people send me messages, or even if they see me in person, like people I work with or people that I know, like, yo, that episode that you did, bro, that's exactly how I've been feeling, or I've been, thinking the same way, or I've been going through the same situations that you said that you went through. It's like, yeah, because we're all going through the same thing. We're all going through some type of bullshit, especially now. And like I said, we need a redo already. 2025 ain't 2025 in the way I thought it would. But nonetheless, once you get yourself out of that situation, and once you stop ignoring your intuition and your gut feeling, and you start listening to it and knowing that you're not spazzing, you're not acting up, you're not being unrealistic, you're not in your head as much as you think you are. It's really your body sending a signal to you to tell you to get out. And if they don't sit right with your soul, if their energy does not match yours, and like I said, if your nervous system is off, you need to go where you are appreciated. And that's by being with yourself, removing yourself from that friendship, from that friend group. If it's one person, multiple people, whatever. Removing yourself from that friend group, removing yourself from that family. And granted, your family is, yes, what you're born into, but as you get older, you make and create your own family as well. And sometimes you have to walk away from your bloodline. As much as you may have love for them, as much as you may have respect for them, as much as you may feel like, you know what, that's still my blood, that's still a part of my lineage, that's still a part of my last name, but I can't do this anymore. I can't be around you because of the energy that you give, or the energy that you don't give, and it's not sitting right with me. And how I'm trying to move in my life, it's not matching and adding up. It's okay for you to part ways, even if they're family. So definitely remember that. I thank you guys for listening. I know I went a little bit over, but as you can see, I'm feeling better. My cough finally went away. I think I was sick for like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. Listen, if you are in like public places, if you're flying, if you're doing anything, wear a mask. Like, I mean like public crowded places, because this, whatever the hell is going on, whatever is being spread is like, it's not okay. It hurts. So yes, I did go over the time, but it's okay. Nonetheless, I miss talking to you guys. But anyway, I thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Whatever happened into today, leave it into today. Do not bring that shit into tomorrow. Leave it here. I thank you guys for listening. I appreciate you. Make sure you like, subscribe. Make sure you send this to your friends, your family, your coworkers, your auntie, your uncle, your grandmother, everybody. And continue to tune in on Mondays, 6 p.m. The Remedy Podcast. I love you guys. See you.